Once, they were part of everyday British life. You saw them outside schools, parked on quiet suburban streets, and lined up outside corner shops. They weren't the fastest. They weren't the most expensive. But people trusted them. They started every morning, carried families on holiday, and rarely let their owners down. Today, most have quietly disappeared. Some were scrapped. Others simply faded away with time. But for millions of Britons, these cars still bring back unforgettable memories. Here are 10 British cars everyone misses today. Number 10, Austin Allegro. The Austin Allegro has often been remembered for the wrong reasons. But ask people who actually owned one, and many will tell you a different story. For thousands of British families, the Allegro was dependable everyday transport. It carried children to school. It handled weekly shopping trips. And it faithfully served families for years. Owners appreciated its comfortable ride and affordable running costs. Garages knew exactly how to repair them. Parts were easy to find. During the late 1970s, Allegros were everywhere. Housing estates, factory car parks, even village high streets. Then everything changed. Rust attacked many examples. Values collapsed. Owners replaced them with newer hatchbacks. Most quietly disappeared into scrapyards. Today, finding an Austin Allegro on British roads feels almost impossible. Yet many former owners still smile when they remember theirs. And if you think the Allegro is missed, the next car earned an even stronger reputation for reliability. Number 9, Rover SD1. When Rover launched the SD1 in 1976, it immediately stood out. Its sleek hatchback design looked unlike anything else on British roads. Many people compared it to expensive European sports saloons. Police forces loved them. Business executives proudly drove them. Long-distance drivers appreciated their comfort and powerful engines. For years, the Rover SD1 became a symbol of British executive motoring. Motorways were full of them. Company car parks displayed rows of them. But despite its popularity, build quality problems damaged its reputation. Rust claimed many survivors. As German rivals became stronger, buyers slowly moved away. By the 1990s, the once common SD1 had almost disappeared. Today, seeing one on the road is enough to turn heads. Yet older motorists still remember when they seemed to be everywhere. And the next car became one of Britain's favourite family hatchbacks before almost vanishing completely. Number 8, Ford Anglia. Before the Escort became Britain's favourite family car, there was the Ford Anglia. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, the Anglia introduced thousands of families to affordable motoring. It was simple, reliable, and inexpensive to maintain. Young couples proudly bought one as their first family car. Small businesses depended on them every day. Their distinctive rear window made them instantly recognizable wherever they went. For years, Anglias filled Britain's roads, school gates, village streets, and busy town centres all seemed to have one parked nearby. But as newer Ford models arrived, the Anglia quietly faded into history. Rust claimed thousands. Many were simply worn out after years of faithful service. Today, finding one outside a classic car event is a rare treat. Yet for older Britons, the Anglia remains one of the cars that defined an entire generation. And if you think the Anglia is fondly remembered, the next car became one of Britain's most dependable everyday companions. Number 7, Hillman Avenger. The Hillman Avenger arrived in 1970 with one simple goal: to become Britain's everyday family car. And for many years, it succeeded. Owners praised its smooth ride. Mechanics appreciated its simple engineering. Families trusted it for holidays, shopping trips, and daily commuting. Driving schools used them. Company fleets bought them. Taxi drivers relied on them. For a while, the Avenger seemed to be absolutely everywhere. But changing times soon caught up with it. Competition became tougher. Rust slowly destroyed countless examples. As newer front-wheel drive hatchbacks arrived, the Avenger began disappearing from Britain's roads. By the early 1990s, only a handful remained. Today, spotting a Hillman Avenger brings back memories for thousands of motorists who learned to drive or traveled in one as children. And only 6 cars remain, including one that became one of the most recognizable British family cars ever built. Number 6. Morris Ital. The Morris Ital was never meant to be exciting. It was designed to be dependable, affordable, and practical enough for ordinary British families. When it arrived in 1980, thousands of buyers simply wanted a car they could rely on every day. The Ital delivered exactly that. Families used them for school runs. Builders filled the boot with tools. Retired couples toured Britain in them. Throughout the early 1980s, they became a common sight almost everywhere. Housing estates, high streets, even village post offices had one parked outside. Unfortunately, its old-fashioned design quickly began showing its age. Rust became a constant problem. Newer hatchbacks offered better economy, better handling, and fresher styling. Owners gradually moved on. Most Itals quietly disappeared into scrapyards. Today, seeing one on British roads is incredibly rare. Yet many former owners still remember them with surprising affection. And if you think the Ital is missed, the next car became one of Britain's biggest-selling executive saloons. Number 5. Austin Princess. The Austin Princess looked unlike anything else on British roads. Its sharp wedge-shaped styling made it feel years ahead of its time. Some people loved the futuristic design. Others weren't so sure. But almost everyone recognized one. Inside, the Princess offered outstanding comfort. Its soft suspension made long journeys relaxing. Families appreciated the huge interior. Taxi companies valued the spacious rear seats. For much of the 1970s, Princesses became a familiar sight across Britain. They carried business executives, family holidays, and thousands of everyday commuters. Sadly, quality problems damaged their reputation. Rust claimed many survivors. As more modern rivals arrived, the Princess slowly disappeared. Today, only a handful remain. Yet older motorists still remember when these unusual British saloons stood proudly outside homes across the country. Only 4 cars remain, including one that millions of British drivers simply refuse to part with. Number 4. Rover P6. Long before German executive cars dominated Britain's roads, there was the Rover P6. Launched in 1963, it quickly earned a reputation for quality, comfort, and innovation. Winning the very first European Car of the Year award only strengthened its reputation. Business leaders admired it. Doctors drove them. Engineers respected the advanced suspension and strong engineering. Owning a Rover P6 meant you'd done well for yourself. Throughout the 1960s and early 1970s, they became a familiar sight outside offices, hotels, and suburban homes. But nothing lasts forever. Rust slowly attacked the bodywork. Repair costs became too expensive. Newer executive cars replaced them. Most quietly disappeared from Britain's roads. Today, seeing a Rover P6 still turns heads. Not because it's flashy, but because it reminds people of a time when Rover represented the very best of British engineering. And only 3 cars remain, including one that almost every British family recognized instantly. Number 3. Ford Cortina. If there was one family car that defined Britain, it was the Ford Cortina. For over 20 years, it dominated British roads. Families loved it. Salesmen depended on it. Taxi drivers trusted it. Police officers patrolled in it. It was comfortable, affordable, easy to repair, and almost every garage knew how to keep one running. By the late 1970s, it felt like every street had at least one Cortina parked outside. Then the Sierra arrived. Owners upgraded. Older Cortina slowly disappeared. Rust claimed thousands more. Today, finding a Cortina in everyday traffic is almost impossible. Yet millions of Britons still remember learning to drive, traveling on holiday or visiting relatives in one. Number 2. Austin Mini. Very few cars ever became part of British life quite like the original Mini. Introduced in 1959, it completely changed the way Britain travelled. It was tiny, affordable, easy to park, and unbelievably practical. Young drivers loved them. Families squeezed into them. Celebrities proudly owned them. Even rally champions proved just how capable the little Mini could be. By the 1960s and 1970s, Britain simply couldn't get enough of them. They appeared in every town, every village, every supermarket car park. Sadly, rust eventually claimed thousands. Many disappeared before anyone realized they would become valuable classics. Today, a good original Mini attracts attention wherever it goes. But older Britons still remember when they were simply another ordinary everyday car. And now, only one car remains. The British car that almost everyone still misses. Number 1. Morris Minor. No British car represents everyday post-war Britain better than the Morris Minor. For over 2 decades, it faithfully served millions of people. Builders trusted it. Shopkeepers relied on it. Families filled it with children, shopping, and holiday luggage. Postmen delivered letters in it. The Morris Minor became famous because it was honest, simple, reliable, and remarkably inexpensive to own. Many families kept the same Minor for 10 or even 15 years. Children learned to drive in the very same car their parents had bought years earlier. During the 1950s and 1960s, the Morris Minor wasn't just common. It became part of British life itself. Eventually, newer cars replaced it. Rust claimed thousands. Most quietly disappeared into scrapyards. Today, every surviving Morris Minor reminds Britain of a simpler time. A time when cars weren't bought for status. They became part of the family. These cars may have disappeared from Britain's roads, but they certainly haven't disappeared from Britain's memories. Which of these British cars do you miss the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to UK Talk for more classic British motoring stories every week.